Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast. I keep pausing because I think I'm going to look up the episode, and then I went, nah, I'm not going to look up the episode number. It's just the TNT podcast. You know what it is.
It's definitely a number. It's not quite 200.
It's not quite 200.
Make sure we know when we get there.
But until we hit 200, my name is Timpedia, and with me on my right.
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left.
Just Tyler. But wait, are you saying until we hit 200? Are you saying 200 is going to be our last episode?
No, just at 200 we'll definitely call out the episode number, and then we'll just
I'll
go back
remember
to
it's 200. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
I'll be like, what episode 200? And then Freeman will play like the wow sound effect, and that'll be the whole thing.
Why are you spoiling the bit for them?
I gotta say, it's actually funny. Tyler, I don't think you were there, but when we were hanging out with Freeman and Leslie the other night, the meme from the other episode where Freeman brought up the Final Fantasy minigames came up, and I actually played that bit for Val and Leslie where you just hear the do 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 do.
Dude, yes.
It plays every time I see it because the game hasn't stopped introducing minigames.
I just realized. Do you guys want to talk about that? I know I didn't mean to transition into this, but like, Tyler, didn't you say you've been playing a bunch and you wanted to talk about it a little bit, or no? Do we just jump into the news?
It's actually really funny. I mean, I'll just touch on. I have done the opposite, where I have not been playing this game, but I've been playing a completely different game that I think is much better.
What?
But I'll talk about that later.
So okay. I'll give my Final Fantasy VII update. So since the last time I ranted, I've map completed every map in the game. I'm like close to. I've got like 99% completion, and it's absolutely infuriating at this point. I was explaining it lightly to Tim that when I got to the last map, every map has their own gimmick. The most recent two I did were unlike the first couple maps where you see an objective on your mini map, you can probably walk to it. The fourth and fifth maps are like, let's just play with verticality, so it's impossible to figure out how to get to this objective, even though it looks like you're right next to it. And all of them had their own ways of exploration. And the last map almost went that route, and then they decided your Chocobo's ability is going to be the flood ability from Mario Sunshine, but like the hover ability, where you just shoot straight up. And between that, the gliding Chocobo just being the Mario 64 minigames, like it's occurred to me that every single minigame is just a watered-down version of an already successful game concept. Like this game is trying to be the game where every minigame represents the history of video games, and I can't stand it because they're all just so half-baked. If I wasn't this far into just completing the map for everything, I would tell people just ignore the open world segments. Just do it enough to get the material you really want, and then just move on. Because it just feels like it's a massive time waste. Not gonna lie, all of it feels like padding.
Yep.
It's not. It's not great. But like the combat's otherwise fun, I guess.
So we should probably actually transition into. I didn't mean to start like this, but this seems better to transition into now instead of after, because we were going to talk about Squeenix. Or actually, I should ask before we switch to this. Tyler, you said you're not playing the game. Does that mean you have given up on Final Fantasy Rebirth?
No, I have not. I'm gonna play it when I come back from vacation. I haven't given up on it. I have not dropped the game, but I'm also not looking forward to playing it still.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You guys who have time to play games that you don't find incredibly exciting and fun.
You don't have. I would rather. I was telling Freeman this. I started Amnesia the Bunker last night. I'd rather play that.
Then do it.
But all right, listen, I still want to experience the story for 7. It just has a lot of padding. Like, I want to experience the story at least.
Because it does have a unique story, and I'm finally getting at the point where things are playing out ever so slightly differently during critical scenes. And it's, like, story-wise, it's great. The dialogue is, if you remove Yuffie from the game, the dialogue is great. But it's how do I put it? I'm at the point in the game where I'm done, like, leveling up materia, and I can now start, like, theory crafting builds. But I'm waiting for the game to put an encounter in front of me where, like, I actually need a build. So, I don't know. It's fun, but, like, the game could be more fun if I wasn't wasting all my time on minigames.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. I feel like I've been hearing only this game is way too big and kind of bloated compared to the first one. So like,
I'm at like 80 something hours now, and I'm at chapter 11 of 20. That said, I've done all the open world shit, so there's not much left for them to pad. So I think at this point I'm just gonna railroad the story.
can I ask a genuine question? How
Yeah.
are there people who finished this game in like 3 days?
Because they didn't do any of the open world shit. They just ran through
Yeah.
the story.
But like,
'Cause
I
there's nothing
it's
stopping you from
not.
just chaining
No,
the story missions.
I mean, like, maybe it's because, between having a baby and a job, I don't understand how there are people, like, as time goes on, I'm more and more like, how can people just sit and play a video game for, like, that long straight? I don't get it anymore.
When you don't have responsibilities.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I've been able to game a lot since my surgery because I didn't have work and I didn't have other shit going on. But like during my normal life, I don't have this kind of time.
Yeah,
Also,
but I'm
not for
saying
nothing,
who does?
Tim, I will say this: you're the
Gamers.
only person I know, only new dad
There
that
it
I
is.
know. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't have to finish my statement. I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just saying.
I guess
just saying.
gaming wasn't a big enough love for me that I care
So,
enough to keep
it's time
going.
to transition this into a parenting discussion. But Tyler,
That-
of the new dads you know who game, how many of them have iPad kids?
None of them.
All right,
Ooh.
never mind.
Good.
I retract the point I was going to go for.
Yeah, at least the ones I know who consistently play games. No, these kids are not iPad kids.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
No,
let's
At
move
least-
on.
yeah,
no.
as Lily
I throw.
hopefully are.
I'm joking around. No, because I know that like I end up choosing to play like, or to like watch anime or play like a couple bot games of League and just chill instead of playing anything new. Like I recognize that's what I do. So I could have some time for gaming and I just choose not to. I get it. But speaking of
that's okay.
speaking of choosing not to be gaming, Square Enix says gamers aren't gaming. No one's
It's not
buying our super expensive $1 trillion Final Fantasy games. This is a problem.
It's not that gamers aren't gaming. It's just that they're not exclusively gaming on Sony consoles. So
Oh my
the big
God,
thing
it's
is you look
so
at
dumb.
like Sony's tentpole releases. It's been what? It's been Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's been Final Fantasy 16. It was we're a couple years out now, but like Kingdom Hearts 3. These were all Sony exclusive. You know, Kingdom Hearts obviously later came to Epic Game Store, and then everyone was sitting there crying about when it's going to come to Steam. And maybe they made news about it later, but that's not the point right now. So Square Enix outright said like the money they make from exclusivity deals is not even remotely covering how much they're losing by not being on every platform. And by every platform, what they're really saying is for not developing for Switch first.
Yeah.
Because in Japan, everyone owns a Switch, and this is their target audience.
Well,
So
also,
they're not able to address their target audience.
not to jump to Nintendo news later because we will talk about Nintendo, but didn't Nintendo also put out a statement that was basically like, "Hey, we have made more money from the Switch than we have in the life of the Nintendo company?"
Yes.
Yeah. So, like,
Line go
no
up.
fucking shit. Like, yes, PlayStations were the big scalp item, but guess what was even more the big scalp item? Switches. The only problem was Nintendo could make Switches, unlike Sony, who couldn't make PS5s during COVID.
They also didn't make a lot at the beginning for some reason, and then you have Switch with the rumors of them stockpiling 3 years worth of consoles in advance to keep up with demand.
And guess what? Here we are. Nintendo's doing great, and every other company is going, I don't know what to do. I'm going to make every bad decision in history. It's so funny because normally I rag on Nintendo for being, trapped in the past, and in a lot of ways they kind of are. But at the same time, some of that makes them so immune to how, immune to the stupidity of everybody else. If that makes any sense.
Sort of. They don't do the weird nonsense the rest of the industry's doing. They just do the weird shit they did back in 1996.
Well, no, Freeman, we can't say they don't do weird shit. They do weird shit. Like, look at the Wii and the Wii U.
So, okay, they're being creative, but they're not being predatory? I don't know.
Yeah,
Nah,
Nintendo.
bro.
Yeah,
They
that's a good way to put
totally
it. No, that's a good way to put it. No, I would say that Nintendo. Well, Nintendo is predatory in a classic sense, which is in how they never put sales on their games. Like how many full price Nintendo NES games are people still buying on like the eShop like over and over and over again? That's predatory.
I still love their justification. They're like time didn't make these games worth less. They're just as worth it as they were when they came out.
See, you know what? I don't agree with that, but there's at least a stance there that like shows some backbone, some like perspective instead of like anything Sony related or anything Microsoft related. That's just the bottom line, the bottom line, the bottom line, the bottom line, the bottom line. Like it. At least there's like a stance to Nintendo that isn't just if our investors aren't happy, then we're gonna kill people. Like it's just like it's. At least Nintendo has a gun, even if it's an archaic gun. You're like, oh, he's got like a cool single shot flintlock pistol instead of like, I don't know.
Like when it comes to everything except their online service, I like to think that Nintendo is designing stuff to be fun or useful or for the consumer.
At the end of the day,
ignoring their online service,
Nintendo will take 4 years to make a Legend of Zelda game, then take 3 years to make a sequel, and then never use that engine ever again. No one else would ever do that. Okay.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to make Breath of the Wild 3. They got to make a new Zelda game.
Yeah, but that you're proving my point.
It's same engine, same game. Same engine would just mean a sequel. Got to be new. Got to be creative. Got to waste 4 years of development
But that's
time.
what I mean. That no one else will do that.
Everyone else is using Unreal.
Everyone, Freeman, you know what I mean. It's not about the actual engine. It's just about Nintendo investing the time to make a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this went way off the rails from Square Enix because we already talked about like practically
story short. Square beat around the bush and wouldn't admit it, but basically they want to target Switch 2 for all their projects going forward and just port to every other platform. Kind of in that same breath, not even a week later, they come out and they say Kingdom Hearts is finally leaving Epic Store exclusivity. It's coming to Steam next week. So the 1.5, 2.5 collection and then the 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue collection. Then also those 3 game collections are coming to Steam.
Boy, time has really proven that everyone who said Epic exclusivity wasn't going to be worth really turned out to be right, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm conflicted because I want to prove Square Enix is a pro try and say, yeah, if you release it on every platform, people will buy it on their platform. But I don't want to fucking buy it 1.5 and 2.5 again. I bought it for PS3. And then I bought it again for PS4 when they're like, no, it's actually in HD this time.
Freeman, I'm gonna take the role of the narrator here for a second and explain what's gonna happen here. You're gonna take this stance, and then when the Steam sale rolls around and it's 50% or more off, you're gonna go, it's worth having in the library at this point.
I'm glad you said that because that's the strategy I've decided to go with for this. That no, Square won't get the results they want immediately, but you put that shit on sale because this game came out like 20 years ago now.
This is going to be one of those games that like goes on sale every Steam sale and sells a bunch of people every single Steam sale.
I mean, look, I'm not buying 2.8, I'm not buying 3, but that 1.5, 2.5 collection.
Oh my god.
That one is actual real value. If they narc it down to $30, it's a steal.
You know what? He's right though.
Like it's got 1, 2,
it's just funny.
and it's got Birth by Sleep, which I know most people hate, but I legitimately love that game.
Wait, who doesn't like Birth by Sleep?
Most of the internet.
Really?
I don't know. I loved Birth by Sleep when it came out. It fixed a lot of the problems I had with the comment engine in 2.
Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of
You're thinking of Dream Drop Distance.
PSP. Yeah, I'm thinking of no. Birth by Sleep is the PSP.
Yeah, the PSP one.
Yeah, I thought people liked that one. I didn't think people liked Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, Dream Drop Distance sucked. Anyway, it's not about Kingdom Hearts. The point is, it's coming to Steam like June 13th, I think.
Thor is a Keyblade Master. You can't tell me otherwise. There, I'm done.
Keyblade Master.
Fuck Riku. He a emo ass bitch.
Damn.
Called.
The only thing I wanted to add to this is Square. Part of what led to this, like I made it as a joke before, but Square Enix did say that Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and their AI-generated game, whose name I can't even remember, did not...
You're not talking about Foam Stars, because the whole thing wasn't AI-generated. They have another one that's entirely NFTs.
Okay, Foam Star... Okay, sorry, my mistake. The Splatoon ripoff for PlayStation, all 3 of those did not meet Square Enix's sales expectations, which, honestly, these days means jack shit. Because it's been like a decade and a half of the most unrealistic sales expectations killing studios. Like, remember when Dead Space 3... Tyler, you probably remember this especially because you were playing Dead Space, right? When it came out?
Oh yeah, I played it when it came out.
Tyler,
yeah.
remember how EA said Dead Space 3 needed to sell more copies in the launch window than Dead Space 1 and 2 had sold put together?
Yes.
Like, the fucking...
Unrealistic. Yeah.
Who came up with that number? Ludicrous for the worst game in the series by a lot. Like, we came up with the most unrealistic expectations possible.
Yeah, I really don't understand where these companies are trying to get these numbers from, though.
It's so nuts.
Like legitimately.
You know what? I'm gonna. It's funny. I keep shifting around the news, but we're talking about not meeting expectations. But there's some shit you can't make up, man. You just, some stuff is just too funny to lie about, or to say. It's like, what's the phrase I'm trying to reach for? Reality is stranger than fiction. Reality is stranger than fiction. There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking Microsoft, hot off the heels of acquiring Activision, is like, hey, everybody, we're going to try... We talked a little while ago about Microsoft's going to try out some multi-platform stuff. Like Starfield, maybe. Or Hi-Fi Rush. You know, prestige projects that are well loved by a community. You know, Hi-Fi Rush was, I didn't play it, but action game fans say it's a great one. Tango Gameworks, they made Evil Within 2, I never played the first one, but it's one of my favorite third-person action games I've ever played, a shooter. Microsoft's like, you know, we just remembered that buying Activision. No, was that the more recent one? Am I being stupid?
Wait, Activision?
What was the recent acquisition Microsoft did that was so huge? Why do I feel like my brain stopped working?
Oh my god.
No, yeah, because it was Activision. It was Activision. Microsoft went, oh shit, we spent a lot of money. How do we cut money? Oh, of course. Let's close all of our game studios. Duh.
So here's what happened, because the way the press release felt to me was Microsoft said, "Listen, gamers, we absolutely care about games, but do you know who doesn't?
Investors.
Like 99% of our investors. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, and that's how it came off.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's how it was.
I don't even remember the full list. I'm not gonna bother looking it up. Microsoft closed like 3 game studios that were all... Tango Gameworks was the most well-known one. I can't remember which other ones they closed. But they were basically like, yeah, they're not doing... We need to cut costs because we're stupid idiots who spent like $80 billion on Activision and...
oh yeah, they
Bethesda.
Closed Arcane Studio.
Arcane,
that's right.
one of the Arcane studios. It wasn't Arcane itself.
Arcane Austin.
Yeah. Makers of Redfall.
And they also did the Dishonored series.
But also Dishonored, which was great.
Yeah, Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, Roundhouse Games.
Do you know what Alpha Dog or Roundhouse made?
No.
I can't remember what Alpha Dog made.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up live.
Either way, 4 studios just axed. And in the same... Like, within like a day or two of that, one of the either a manager or a spokesperson or someone at Microsoft said, we need more games like Hi-Fi Rush to fill our catalog for gamers.
Yeah, that's pretty
After they made the announcement that they were shutting down Tango Gameworks.
No, hold on. The problem is they want games that are like Hi-Fi Rush. They don't want games with a development cycle like Hi-Fi Rush.
They don't want games like anything. They don't want to make games.
They want these smaller profile releases, I think is what they want. Because especially like when you look at the Game Pass model, where none of these games have any staying power, and the idea is we want something to come out, just look big for a week and get attention. And in their eyes, that's a successful game. And I think they want more that are like that.
Well, guess what? Ninja Theory. Tyler, that name probably means something to you especially.
I mean, they did come out with Hellblade 2 today.
And guess what? They're owned by Microsoft. So,
actually, there were some people speculating that they're actually really worried that if Hellblade 2 doesn't work out, that they're the next on the chopping
That's
block.
what I was gonna say. Watch us
Yeah.
within a month read that Ninja Theory is done because Hellblade 2 didn't meet expectations. Like you just
Yeah.
know that that's on the horizon, and it
But you know what
sucks.
also kills it though? So what's their metric going to be though? Like, because the game is accessible on Game Pass right now. So like, how do you measure that sort of success when there's a whole community out there that can access your game basically? Like, because like, what's to stop me from getting like paying $12 to ace the game? Because the game is, if it's anything like the first Hellblade, I'm gonna beat it inside 8 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
Like, what am I gonna pay? What, like, how much is for Game Pass?
60.
Like,
Oh,
6
Game Pass
for
like
a
15
month. 15. All right, I'm gonna pay 15.
or 20. I don't, whatever. Less than the $60 price tag of the game.
It's actually not $60.
What? Is it really?
Yeah, it's
only
50.
Wow.
Yeah, because I saw the banner on Steam and I was like, what? It came out. I totally forgot it came out. Yeah, it's $50.
Okay, yeah. Well, they're preemptively, thank you Ninja Theory for some really good Senua's games and Ninja Gaiden, big legacy title. It's been nice knowing you. Now time for all these IPs to go into the Microsoft vault and be wasted away for all time.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Pretty much.
It wouldn't be so. You know, it wouldn't be so bad if Microsoft was like, "Hey, studios, you guys are allowed to buy yourselves out. Like you can take yourself independent. It's fine."
Nah, but what if I want this
money,
IP and use it in a reboot series later on, 20 years from now?
It's so disappointing.
So Microsoft, do they own the license to all the game studios they're closing, so they can just license it out to any other developer to make stuff for them?
No, they're not going to license it out at all unless they think there's money. They're just going to sit on it. Because it makes them look worse if they let them take their license away and do better with it without Microsoft.
But I mean, like, you just license out, like, let's say Capcom is like, we'll make the next Hi-Fi Rush 2. Just give us the license.
No. It's ours.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would Microsoft?
No.
Like,
Why
not
would they
sell the license? Like, be like, all right, cool, you can make a
Why
game
would
under
Capcom
our
want
IP.
to do that? Why would Capcom want to do that?
Well, I'm just throwing out a developer name.
Why would anyone want to do that? Why would they want Microsoft to be involved at all? Just come
why
up
would
with
a
your own
studio
IP.
want to make a game for a popular IP versus a new IP?
Hi-Fi Rush is definitely like good. Hi-Fi Rush is not like a well-known
I'm just using these
IP.
names as examples.
No, I know, but
let's say
I'm
Ninja,
saying
Ninja
like,
Theory gets shut down. They want to license out Ninja Gaidens. That way,
but I'm
Platinum
saying,
Games can go and make it.
who at this point would ever want to get into bed with Microsoft about an IP? Like, no matter what the IP is, who would want to go to Microsoft and be like, "Hello, Microsoft"?
You underestimate the amount of desperate ass developers, dude. You underestimate. Like, it's bad, bro. It's really bad.
As you and Freeman both work in IT related fields, I know it's not developers. I know it's not gaming.
As someone who has friends in like the AAA industry, like, they would be like, because like, number one, a job's a job. Two, like, also it's like like, even if you get shit canned, it super sucks, right? It super duper sucks, but like, your name could be tied to like a big project that was produced by Microsoft, and that alone could take you places. Like, which it does, and honestly, that's, I think, I don't even know if I said this on the channel, but I've said it to you guys multiple times, but like, this is why one of the main reasons why I didn't stay in game development, because it's shit like this. Like, you don't know when, like, how long you're gonna hold this job for.
Yeah.
It's just not stable. It sucks.
It feels a lot like gaming is kind of in the same place as film right now, where like nothing outside of a few hits is really making it that well, but also like it's hard to break into because of the upfront cost. So like everybody's just kind of floundering around right now.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's very much in the IPs sell in movies era. No one's doing anything original because everyone's just so afraid to lose money.
Fuck 'em. These goddamn investors.
But that's a whole conversation. But yeah,
That's the whole thing, yeah.
yeah, investing. You know what sucks? Having a
What is it?
401k and being like, fuck investors.
Damn.
Look,
Yeah,
man, I'm not the one
I-
voting to shut down these studios with Microsoft.
I see. I know I have at least one Microsoft share, so like, God
All right,
damn it!
It's time for us to form the Timpedia ETF, where we can.
Oh
be,
no!
we
No!
can,
No! No! No!
We
No!
can specifically buy
No,
video game
no,
related
no, no,
companies and then make our voices heard during the shareholder voting
no,
sessions.
No. The only way I would ever be involved in game development is if I won like the billion-dollar lottery, and I was like, Tyler, do me a favor. I want to make this game. I'll hire you full time. Here's $100 million. Go remake a game that I love and go make it happen, buddy.
No, alrighty then.
All right, gamers, hear me out. You've heard the phrase "gamers rise up." Let's rise up financially here. Starting to.
Let's rise up financially.
All right, that's enough. Hey, let's that's enough bitching about stuff that's outside of our control and unfair. Why don't we switch to something else that's unfair and out of our control? So
Man,
this story.
People still talking about this dead game. All right, let's do it.
So I'm actually glad that this story kind of mostly resolved itself in the time that we were between podcasts. So last time we were on the podcast, we were like, yeah, Helldivers, so fun. I love Helldivers. Let's drop, Helldivers. Let's like, haha, ODSTs like Titanfall, haha, all the cool stuff. Yeah, the Helldivers. I haven't booted up Helldivers in over 2 weeks.
So this is a you
Because-
problem.
Are you playing Helldivers?
Yes, actually, if we were finished early, the Magic Noobs asked me to play, so I was going to jump on with them.
Tyler, are you playing Helldivers?
Damn, not even playing with us, bro. Wow.
Tyler, you're going to get off after this, aren't you?
I have to.
See, and I would have played Helldivers, but now Freeman's gonna go play Helldivers with other people. God damn it.
I would play Helldiver. I got a pack, fortunately.
When are you going on vacation? Anyway, we'll talk about that after.
Tomorrow morning.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's got a pack.
So when you sign up for when you play Helldivers on PC, for the history of the game, you would get a pop-up message that said, "Hey, you should make a PSN account or link to a PSN account." And I was like, okay, I just did it for free because I thought you had to. Turns out you did not have to, but a lot of people, but that was fine. You play on Steam, it worked just fine. Didn't do anything. I didn't play with anybody on crossplay. I just played without I didn't need one. But it was always kind of implied that, maybe at some point in the future you might need that PSN account. And then over one weekend, I think 2 weekends ago or 3, I think it was the weekend after the podcast last time, where Sony goes, "Hey, starting in a week or 2, you need that account. You need to link to PSN." And everyone went, "What?" And they went, "Yeah. And we're going to delist the game in 180 countries, 177, then 3 more, where PSN accounts aren't available." And everyone went, "Wow, fuck you." And they started review bombing the hell out of the game.
Yeah, people were asking for refunds. Well, you know what?
Lots of people
though?
got refunds, no matter what
True,
the hours
people
were.
got
If they were in a country, especially where Steam didn't allow, it was delisted.
PSN wasn't available.
Where PSN wasn't available and it was delisted on Steam, people got refunds.
Yeah, and good, deserved.
Absolutely. And the craziest part is the Helldivers team, including the CEO, was like, "Sorry, our hands are tied. This is Sony's idea." And so eventually,
Didn't one of them get fired?
I
for
don't
that?
know that much.
One of the Discord community managers,
Oh,
I guess like an actual market lead person at the company, was like, "Hey, look, if you don't like it and you actually can't play the game, go request refunds." And even though they gave them technically correct advice, that impacted the bottom line and got them cut.
Well, good on them for telling it like it is.
They hated Jesus because he told the truth.
If they is Sony and that's it, no one else hated him. So eventually Sony goes, "We have heard your feedback and we will roll back the requirements." And everyone's like, "Okay, time to make Helldivers positive reviews again." Except the game is still delisted in all of those countries.
Really? I actually didn't know that.
They have not reinstated it in those countries. You can play the game still on Steam if you own it, And if you use a
buy it.
VPN, you could buy it. But previously, so during this period, people tried to make PSN accounts with a VPN from countries where PSN doesn't exist, and they were instant banned for trying to do
Hold up.
that.
Yep.
I did not hear this one because right now, if you don't have a PSN account in a country and you go to PSN support, their current recommendation to you is just make one in a different country. So PSN support doesn't actually acknowledge the countries they do and don't support.
Well, if you VPN'd into another... I don't know if it was VPNing to set up the PSN account or when you linked it to your Helldivers account on Steam in the original country, then you got insta-banned or something. I don't know exactly how it was, but people were getting banned somewhere from using the VPN workaround.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's still delisted in those countries.
And that shit's wild.
Most of which are in Africa, I think. But either way, the meme that was in the Helldivers community was, oh, only 9% of Super Earth can play Helldivers 2 now.
Ooh.
Or something like that. I forget what the exact number was. But, yeah, it's pretty pathetically stupid of Sony. Like what... and then right on the tails of this, Ghost of Tsushima launched on PC, delisted in all those countries before it even came out.
Yep. I don't understand why,
PSN.
Like, they have no reasoning behind why they're doing it.
They just need PSN people accounts.
They want people signing up.
They need people
Bigger
to sign
number-
up for PSN.
bigger
It doesn't
number good.
matter if they're paying or not. They have a PSN account.
Who cares about
Well,
gamers?
why?
The investors are mad.
Yeah, investors.
Well,
thank you.
if I'm an investor and I see that you made this decision and people are review bombing and / not only that, but you're taking this literally off of the shelves of over 100 and something countries, I'd be pissed as fuck. I'd be
But
like,
Tyler-
what are you doing?
But Tyler, until those refunds outstrip the costs of supporting those countries and those servers, what do I care? We made the money already off these chumps. It's
Well, hold on,
only the refunds that actually
But it's
mattered.
continued,
Hold on,
but like,
Just want to
You're-
clarify. Everyone's
What?
saying the refunds did it, but the actual timeline was this announcement drops Friday morning. The weekend, everyone's seething, and then first thing Monday morning, they reversed it. So it's like the first business day opportunity to make a change. They
Yeah,
did.
no one bothered dealing with us on a weekend.
Yeah.
like we're talking about continued because assuming the game does continued well, right? Even keeping up infrastructure, it's like, okay, now we're continued on people new players buying the game at $40 a pop or however much they charge in the country, $40 USD, plus whatever super credits that people will continue to buy over
Can't believe I
time.
bought some. So sad.
Like, you're gonna tell me that's not gonna like what they did is going to cost them, not gonna cost them more money in the long run?
Tyler, no one
It makes
on
no
planet
sense.
Earth has a more pathetic short-term view than a Wall Street investor.
Yeah, maybe because I'm poor. Is it because I'm poor?
Yes, we're too poor to understand, Tyler.
Okay. Yeah, like I honestly do legitimately want someone to explain it to me though. Like I'm a 5-year-old.
Tyler, number go up, good. No, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm
No,
just
no, no,
like,
no,
I'm
legitimately,
trying to
like-
dumb,
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Number go up in the next 3 months. Good.
Yeah,
go
number
up
on
6
track
months?
to go up.
Eh,
Good.
What about 3 month? 3 month good?
3 months.
But
3
everybody
months.
talks
3 month good? 3
about
month
though.
good?
But that's the thing though, right? It's like everybody talks about like not seeing a investment on like small businesses for like fucking what, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, and those are different kind of investors, not Wall Street people. Those are not the people betting on Sony. The people investing in Sony are not the people who are like, I'm gonna be on Shark Tank and give this small business. Like, no.
I just don't understand, I guess. Like it makes no sense. Like if it was me, I guess, and I
You know
just
what's
had a lot
sad?
of money to burn, I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Like why not? Like let's like if I see a good trend with this and it keeps going, why not?
It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I
So-
don't know.
I think like the big aftermath. This has nothing to do with Sony. This has purely to do with what's an Arrowhead as the developer.
Yeah.
They're kind of floundering with what to do with the community because they're still just all very angry. So I think it was right after this resolved. I think it was like on Tuesday after they'd resolved it. They released a Discord poll saying, given everything that's happened, should we still release the Warbond on Thursday or hold off on it? and it was something like 80% said release it on Thursday. So
Well-
releases on Thursday, and then everyone's mad about the content of the war bond. So they put out a poll not even a week later saying like, what should we do about the pace of releases? And it was all over the place.
Well, I think part of the problem is Discord. Like, if you want to get community info, put it in the fucking game as a little pop-up. Don't bother with Discord, because you're only going to get the sweatiest of psychos in a Discord.
Yeah, but those are the ones who are going to pay for war bonds.
Yeah, but they're also the ones who are contributing so little in the grand scheme of things. Like, you want to, like, I would be more, like, that's like saying the kid on Fortnite who buys a couple bucks of Fortnite bucks every time is also the kid who's going on Discord and voting in a Fortnite poll. Like, why not just put it in the game?
They're not targeting that person. They're targeting the kind of person who buys every war bond.
This is like how there are websites for Helldivers that show where supply lines and background systems are and how the game is working to lead to the results of different major orders. But none of that information is displayed in game, so like your random person has no idea that they should go defend this planet because it'll make defending these other planets easier. None of that is conveyed in game. I only know it because I go on the Helldivers subreddit sometimes.
Makes this game sound interesting. You can get involved in it without even playing the game.
Right.
Exactly. But also, so what I was also going to say is, on the tails of all of this, on a much more minor note, but like there's a lot of discussion in the Helldivers community of like, yo, it kind of sucks that they seem to think that the best way to balance this game is just to nerf shit. Like, nothing really gets buffed or nothing feels really strong is all I see on the Helldivers subreddit. And to be fair, it's Reddit, it's all negative, whatever. But like, I don't know. I kind of wish
their philosophy is that everything should feel the same power level. It's more a gameplay preference into what you pick.
But that's never, I don't know.
I think that's what their intention is.
I haven't even booted it up since the Quasar got nerfed. Partially because I'm like, okay, I guess I go back to the autocannon because the autocannon is the best gun again.
They don't want that. They don't want there to be a best gun.
But like, the autocannon doesn't get nerfed. It's just the autocannon is the baseline good gun, and then everything else is like, oh, is it good? Nerf it down. Is it good? Nerf it down. But then the autocannon just does everything. Because backpack. I don't know, man.
Me either.
I just want to have fun in Helldivers, but like,
it's alright. You know what? I got other
There's
video games to
randoms and-
play. Who fucking cares?
Tyler's gonna go off and play other video games, and I'm gonna play
Damn right.
nothing.
So what's
I
this
know.
about Nintendo Direct?
Oh yeah, so I just threw this on, just to loop back to Nintendo one more time. Mostly because Nintendo announced that there is a Direct coming. I think in the next month or so, in June, I think there's a Direct, sometime soon. But they did announce that they are not talking about a sequel Switch, that it's coming later this year. Which is interesting because they basically acknowledged that, hey, there is going to be a sequel to the Switch, but you're not going to hear about it right now. They're just going to focus on not much of anything. I don't know what games they could possibly have because, like we talked about the last time, it's not like Nintendo puts out a lot of games these days. Like, they do go slow and they are good with their releases, but they're also not like churning stuff. And there's not a lot of big high profile, like there's no big Mario game or anything right now coming. So we'll have to see.
Alright. I mean, I'm not gonna.
When was this
do
even
any
announced
Switch
for?
stuff.
I'm trying to check. Because I know back in the day, back when they were still announcing stuff about Smash, they would straight up say before Direct whether Smash was or wasn't going to be in it, so people would stop flooding all of their media channels about it. Because like, we want to talk about the stuff we're going to announce. Please stop asking about Smash. And now it's very much, hey, don't ask us about the Switch 2. We don't. Not only do we not want to answer it, we don't want to have to get questions about it. So please, just like, we're
Please
not
fuck
talking
off.
about it today. And everyone's like, oh my god, they confirmed the Switch 2. Is how it read. But my favorite part about this announcement was that Nintendo always does this at the same time every day, 4:30 p.m. JST. If they have something to tweet out, they'll tweet it out. But that ends up being like 3 in the morning for us. So everyone constantly reposts that the SpongeBob "Who does X at 3 a.m. Oh boy 3 a.m." meme every time Nintendo tweets
Oh boy,
anything.
3 a.m.
That's good.
And that's how I knew. Like, I woke up and I saw the meme, just like, who confirmed Switch 2 at 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, did they talk about it? But yeah, this is just them saying, please don't Don't think about it. There's other stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah, don't watch this just for the Switch 2 news. It's not going to be here. We're telling you. And I will say, as much as everyone loves a good surprise, like it's kind of good on them to not just throw surprises in there, just like to be like, oh, just kidding, we lied. Like, no, that there's nothing here. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting to the point where I like Nintendo being boring Nintendo instead of just the usually bad decisions that everybody else makes.
I would be willing to bet that they are going to expand what games are available through like the Switch Online. What is it? It's not the e-console. Whatever it is, the like all their emulation stuff.
I think we've all agreed that like everything's going to be backwards compatible, right?
All the rumors have been that Switch 2 will play Switch 1 games, meaning that we won't have to get this re-released for Switch.
I was just going to say re-released again. Like, ooh, time to buy the original Super Mario Brothers for the billionth time.
Look, you say that, but I don't think they've released the Wind Waker remaster from Wii U on Switch yet.
I think
there's
something to be said for there's got to be an interesting list out there of games that are still locked to like the Wii U and the DS that people would definitely pay money for on a Switch. I mean, basically anything Nintendo major that they haven't put out is the answer, but like there's definitely just a couple games on each of those consoles that are still kind of locked up.
So I went to go check if Wind Waker is on Switch, and the first thing Google sends me is an article called "I don't even want Wind Waker on Switch anymore," which tells me no,
What
it's
does
not
that
on
mean?
Switch.
Damn.
What?
Saying they've been waiting so long that they don't even want it anymore.
I mean, I guess to be fair, like, how much do you need these re-releases of old games to be re-released again? Like, that's like how we got Last of Us. Last of Us was on PS2, PS3, PS4, and PS5. Amazing.
Amazing.
I don't know when this Direct is or was, because I just don't see any Nintendo news floating around.
Nintendo Direct. I thought there was... I thought I saw this announcement.
Yeah, but usually they announce it shortly after.
June Nintendo Direct in 2024. So
Okay, so it'll be coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, okay. It is just in June. That's right. And it's talking about the software for the last half of the year, but not the Switch 2. So it's the Switch 2 is not coming this year. Because I feel like that hype cycle would have to start in June for the holiday release, right?
Yeah, but I think it's just not releasing this holiday season.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. If they're saying they're not going to talk about it, then that means it's not coming this year.
I wonder if it's yeah. They probably around the holiday season talk about it, and then maybe do February, March release if they're looking at Q1.
See, but that seems so weird. Why wait?
They don't want it during the holiday rush because they don't want to deal with it being sold out at launch.
What?
It's too much negative publicity if it's hard to get at launch. They want this thing to be available easily, so they'd rather do it after the holiday season, even if it means
They're gonna build
less
as if
sales at launch. They want steady community growth.
they're telling the factories, guys, we're definitely gonna sell. You got to crank out units like crazy. We're gonna sell it during the holidays, and they're like, just kidding. We stockpiled so that we could sell it all in March and run the March market forever.
Possibly.
Freeman, I thought I gave you a good transition before, but I guess you didn't use it.
Sorry, I've been looking up. I'm trying to find more Switch-related news, and I'm just not paying attention to what's in the show notes. I'm assuming you said something about Japan or something related to some Weeb shit.
It's something about being exciting, but I forget. No, I already forgot the transition.
All right, whatever. It's Weeaboo time.
It's Weeaboo time.
We're mid-season, so not a lot of hard anime announcements outside of like some dates for things that were already confirmed for airing this summer. A couple of things got announced. The one big thing that got announced, I love this because it's a naming scheme nightmare. So there's this series called Ace of Diamonds, which is just like your run-of-the-mill baseball anime. I forget which studio handled it. They're like, I think it's the Bleach studio, so they just like do long-running shonen and do it as budget as humanly possible. Ace of Diamonds is not a very good show. I don't recommend it to people. But I watched all of the show called Ace of Diamonds. And then my buddy and I are keeping track of how much we have left on the second season of Ace of Diamonds, at which point we realized we were both tracking different shows on my anime list. I am tracking Ace of Diamonds Season 2. He is tracking Ace of Diamonds Act 2. Which, when you look at the manga, like Ace of Diamonds had its Dragon Ball Z Naruto Shippuden moment where there's this time skip kind of thing, and then it's Act 2, which is they go from being first years to they go to being second years. when the anime happened, I didn't know Act 2 was coming. So there's Ace of Diamonds, there's Ace of Diamonds second season, and then it came back for Ace of Diamond Act 2, which ended. And now they're coming back for Ace of Diamond Act 2 Season 2.
Holy shit.
I can't wait for final act, final part. It's going to be phenomenal.
That
Either
sounds
way,
like the Attack on Titan naming.
Yeah, that's the joke I'm going for here. I doubt I'm going to make that much progress on Ace of Diamonds. I'm betting I watch this show once a month if we're lucky, and we still have like 50 episodes left. So we got years to go.
Years.
Next big thing announced. This one barely matters to me because I don't have cable, but Toonami Rewind. So in addition to Toonami's current Saturday segment where they show a lot of currently airing dubbed anime from like within the last 12 to 24 months in Japan. So more recent stuff, things like Dr. Stone dub are in there. They're doing Toonami Rewind, which is purely a nostalgia block. So I think 5 p.m. on Fridays, Toonami's now on, but it's only with the new version of Sailor Moon, the original version of Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and I think OG Naruto are
Get
airing.
the young millennials up back on Toonami,
Yeah,
baby.
get them to watch Toonami at 5 p.m. on Fridays because apparently
before they go to bed.
Before we go to bed, yeah, I don't like this. But they're HD restoring all of, like the original Toonami like audio bits they use in between, so it should be pretty close to what we got before, but also in 1080p and no longer in like 360p or whatever it originally aired in. So that's out there for anyone who has cable and wants to kill some time on a Friday being nostalgic. Next one, we talked about this briefly in our group chat, but the Berserk the Black Swordsman trailer came out.
Came out like this was an announced thing. This is a fan project.
So the project had been announced a while ago. So Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong. The arc known as the Black Swordsman arc has never actually been animated. So a fan group decided to open a Patreon for them to fan animate the Black Swordsman arc themselves.
Wait, they're taking money for this?
They have a Patreon.
Oh, Jesus, this seems like a bad idea.
Wait, you're saying that it was never done?
I'm asking of the anime adaptation they've done, had they ever animated the Black Swordsman arc?
I don't know what's honestly, I'll be honest, what it like I'm looking it up.
I don't know. I don't read Berserk.
It was.
Was it only done in CG?
Yeah, it was that shitty one that came out with the frying pan.
The frying
sound.
pan.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so
basically it didn't come out.
So basically it didn't come out. Yeah, and it was, yeah, you know what? You're right. It was never animated.
It was never animated. Can't prove
it's funny. I was talking to a coworker today, and he's like, "Wait, they came out with this?" I was like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "Wait, how come I've never heard of it?" I'm like, "Cause no one likes it. It's bad."
Dang. Anyway, fan group is animating it. The first trailer comes out. It looks phenomenal for a fan animation. I'll give it that much.
Oof,
very
the
pretty.
Disclaimer.
Well, because like there's some bits where like it looks a little rough around the edges, but
Yeah,
I'm willing to ignore it because like this isn't a professional production. They claim to not be getting paid for it, despite having a Patreon. But we'll see what this is because this is an unlicensed work. Like they do not have permission to do this.
Seriously, I don't know how.
But the arguments are making because none of the material that they're producing stems from another. Like if you look at like Team 4-Star and that they edit up existing Dragon Ball Z episodes, you can argue like, hey, they're taking someone's actual artistic work and modifying it, as opposed to this where it's like this is taking an IP and everything else is originally created.
Yeah, so I'll say that. Well, no. So the case was made. So this was an actual case. I don't know if you remember the Power Rangers like fan made thing like a while ago.
I don't remember this.
No.
So there was this. I gotta show you guys. I thought I showed you guys this, but like,
you might have. I just don't remember.
It's basically someone like I think it was like back at like towards the end of college I was in. Someone made like this R-rated Power Rangers thing, right? Why am I forgetting what the hell else he made? But he's like a notable director, but he used his own money to like fund this project. Like Katie Sackhoff is also in it. Fun fact. It's from I can link it like to you guys unless you want to look for it now. But there was a whole thing where Saban was like they sent out a cease and desist. And they're like, you can't air this on YouTube. Like,
yeah, it was Power/Rangers.
Yeah, there it is. And he was like, well, no, like I'm not making money off of this. Like I didn't I put my own money into this as my own project. I could do what I want with it. And he was basically like, it's like drawing Mickey Mouse on a napkin. Like, Disney can't technically own my drawing of Mickey Mouse on a napkin.
But you can't distribute your drawing of Mickey Mouse on a napkin.
Right.
So
But he's not. But he didn't distribute for money though.
So
I don't
one
think
of the
he's still
guys who helped make this was Adi Shah.
Oh yeah,
Adi Shankar, one of the
Yeah.
original minds behind the Castlevania show.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, fucking nerd. But yeah, like I don't
This
know.
guy's
if-
made a lot of music videos that have done really. The director is a guy named Joseph Kahn who made a lot of, who won an Emmy for at least one music video.
Yeah, the guys who made that were really talented people.
Tyler, he directed Torque.
Oh
That-
God.
It's his
Jesus
first. It
Christ.
was his first film.
Maybe. Oh, that's. I'll forgive him. If that was his first film, I'll forgive him. I guess. Man, that movie was so bad.
Oh, that's funny. I saw that it's starring Ice Cube, and I'm like, Tyler definitely knows what this is. I've never heard of this, but
Yeah,
Tyler
that was
definitely knows what this is.
That was back during. So I watched that movie. I was excited to see that movie when I was a kid because that was back during like, I love cars phase.
I love
which I-
cars.
Yeah, dude. You know what started it for me? Fucking Initial D. All right.
Hell yeah.
And then I
Nice.
watched Fast and the Furious 1, and I was like, yo, fucking.
Cars.
I want to work on cars when I grow up. This is gonna be sick. Yeah. And then I had a lot of people tell me, they were like, you shouldn't do that. That's a bad job.
That's a bad job.
that.
Bad idea.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh no.
Right.
Um. Wow, we got way off the Berserk. Look.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
so
if they get to keep going, great. I'll be thrilled. I am just.
Yeah.
Anytime they take money, it's when it gets really like I always one of the podcasts I listen to, and Tyler, you'd probably agree with this, or I think we've talked about this before. They've brought this up, but like the best thing someone can do if they're trying to make like a fan game, like a Pokemon fan game, or any kind of big production of a fan game, the best thing you can do in the entire world is develop it in secret, release it, and then disappear and just never claim it and just vanish, because that way you can't get fucking sued into oblivion by Nintendo.
True.
Like, what was
This
that
is true.
Pokemon? Wasn't there like a Pokemon Nuclear or
Pokemon
something?
Uranium. or
Uranium.
whatever.
there's been a ton of these projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not at like a fresh take thing, and Nintendo always swoops down. And it's like you gotta just drop it and run. You don't tell everybody you're doing it, because then you'll get the cease and desist in the mail immediately.
Fucking whatever.
Hey, if they get away with it and they can make it and it looks good, fantastic. Like, hey, we're in the age where fan animators have gotten like, what was it, Friedman? Wasn't there like a One Punch Man or something? Where like a fan animator on
No,
Twitter-
it was the guy who does the manga reanimated a bit from the anime just because he could, and he had the free time for it.
No, but wasn't there like someone like animated something on Twitter and got a job working for an anime studio?
Oh, yes, I remember this. I'm forgetting which production it was, but they had been doing a ton of animation, and they started shit-talking another animator, and they said, like, do you want to help with the next episode? We're behind schedule. So they got looped in as a freelancer
Yeah, which
while
is cool.
posting insults about a show.
Well,
It's very much what, like, what's his name? Jeff from the Overwatch team, where
oh,
he
gee.
spent so much time criticizing their raid design, they pulled him onto the raid team.
Oh yeah. That was a thing.
Freeman, I feel like there had to have been more anime news, but then as soon as I think about it, I'm like, no, there probably fucking wasn't.
Nothing got announced. We're
That's
still just,
so-
like, mid-season right now.
There's like nothing
Which-
going on.
Which is why I wanted to bring up, since we're not going to talk about a lot of new watched and showed plays. Tim, what are your impressions about some of the shows this season? Just as a quick 1 second line.
I want to steal from the first thing in the watched played that you put there, Freeman.
Oh, we
So,
can leave that there.
well, okay, so this season is very mid. I hate saying that because I know that that's like an overplayed thing, but like this season is very much not as exciting as last season.
Yeah, nothing's really standing
Like
out.
last season had Mashal. It had the second half of Frieren. It had Sign of Affection was even pretty good. What was also finishing?
Shangri-La finished.
Shangri-La was finishing. Like to be
oh
fair,
my
a
God,
lot
the
of
Chinese
it was
Detective, Apothecary Diaries finished.
yeah. Okay. To be fair, last season was like the super season, just because 3 banger shows went on for 2 cores. But like, a lot of this stuff this season hasn't like super blown me away. Let me put it this way: this is the season of returning shows are all kind of whatever, and some of the new shows are like actually like the best thing this season that I'm most excited for. I'll go real quick through the list. Or actually, Tyler, you're not watching anything, right? I don't want to jump in if you're.
Konosuba.
Tyler, what do you think of Konosuba?
It bangs right now. I like it a lot.
Hilarious.
It's still 10 out of 10 show. You can't tell me. Like, I literally don't. I like Tim. I do not see the animation issues you see because I think it's so fucking hilarious. Like, legitimately, I don't see shit.
I'm ignoring them pretty well.
But you see them, Freeman. We've talked about it too many times. I know you see
They're
it.
mostly in the opening ending, but like in the middle of the episode, I really am not looking.
No,
to pay
let
attention to them.
me put it this way. Let me, Tyler. I'm bringing it up as a negative because the show used to look better, and the last thing we saw was the movie, which looked great. But it still is funny. Don't get me wrong. Val dropped. Val is off the ride, but I'm
Purely
still
because the
happily
comedy was
on it.
too good. Just to clarify.
Too good. I am still very much on the Konosuba ride. Don't worry. Like I'm not. It's like yeah. It's not gonna get a 10 out of 10 from me, but it's still funny. It's still very entertaining. Like I'm still watching. I was actually thinking Freeman and I would watch an episode, but then Freeman's like, I'm gonna go play Helldivers.
Well, it depends if they have 4 or not. Which it looks like they do right now.
Well, if
if
we can, I will watch an episode of Konosuba with Freeman to keep working on and catching up.
Anyway, the real reason I wanted to start this segment is because I wanted to ask you, Tim, what are your thoughts on Kaiju number 8? Worth watching? Overhyped? What do you think?
It's weird. I'm not being quiet. I'm being quiet because I'm trying to like choose my words. I feel like I should be connecting more with the show than I am. And I don't know if it's because the season is a little low. I'm coming off of a season where I had so many shows I really cared about to so few shows I really care about. I don't know if it's because of like stuff happening in my life, you know, Henry being more active and frustrating, you know, other things changing. I don't know if it's tied to that. This show feels like it should be a shonen action show that I'm more invested in, and I'm just not clicking with it that much. And I'm not sure why, because it is an interesting world. The main character is over 30, so, you know, instant easy connection for millennials. And he genuinely seems like someone who, like, has this cheat mode, but tries to struggle through without it. It's not every single time is the cheat mode time. But I don't know, man. Like, the whole cast of characters, like, I give a like, I care about him, the white hair guy, maybe the girl, and the blonde girl, and, like, all these other characters literally couldn't care less about anyone else on the team right now.
So I've only seen 5 of the 6 episodes, and I think I'm ready to say what my feeling on this is.
Okay.
It's that I've already watched this anime. It's not doing anything new or unique. We show up immediately after we get the power to do the UA entrance arc, where he can't reveal his power to everyone because he doesn't want them knowing he has power, which is super cool. Except there's also kaijus who can transform to people, so it's just like Parasite. And the way they break up the teams just is giving me Fire Force vibes. And the only thing is, instead of having a Dola burst, he has kaiju powers, and it's just too similar to the shonen formula. And outside of just having guns, it hasn't sold me on why this is cooler than everything else I've already seen.
I think you need to watch a tiny bit more. because the next episode kind of gets into it a little bit.
Oh, I know. They got their first operation or whatever.
And there's definitely hints of like interesting things going on. I definitely am interested in it. Like I'm not going to drop it, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I'm not dropping the show, but it's definitely not like this is the hyper shonen show. Like is this what you felt like watching Solo Leveling? Where you were kind of like,
Absolutely. This is what I felt.
okay, because you were kind of
the
sounding
same
like
people
this
hype
with
me on
Solo
Solo
Leveling.
Leveling, hype me on Kaiju number 8 as well.
Okay.
And now I'm just starting to learn that like new age anime fans just overhype literally anything.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess you know what? The only thing I would say in their defense is when we were new anime fans, we overhyped everything.
But I didn't overhype shit that hasn't come out yet. Like
Okay,
the
that's
only thing
fair.
I would overhype is shows that I've watched that I wanted people to see.
Well,
Being like, yo, this new thing is gonna be the new hotness.
To be fair, we couldn't overhype because we didn't know what was coming back then. Back when we were
Yes.
growing up, it was just, is something on Toonami? Yes or no? Oh, you should watch this one.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
unfortunately, since I
Pretty
used to only watch dubs, it would be like I'd let the sub watchers hype me up for some shit. So then when
That
2
was the
years later it
closest
comes
we
out
got,
English
yeah.
dubbed, I'd know it's already good.
That was the closest. And that's fair. But I also think it's fair to say, like, hey, like, the Harry Potter movies, people were hyped for them because they liked the books. Like, I don't think it's crazy to say when you adapt something from an already existing property that people say is really good, like, they have expectations that it should be good.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, that was all I had.
I think,
for the week shit this week,
yeah,
but
well, just to transition, because you're right. We can go into the watched and played, because there is one new show that you and I picked up together that I think... So I alluded to the fact that a lot of shows this season haven't gripped me a ton. My Hero, very strong first 2 episodes, but I feel like we're already going to slip back into, like, I don't really give a shit. 3rd episode, Freeman, did you watch it?
no, I didn't watch it. I'm
Okay.
supposed to watch that and Demon Slayer tomorrow.
I won't say anything else then. Kaiju number 8, kind of fine. Demon Slayer, we're 2 episodes into a training arc, filler arc kind of thing. There's been good moments. It's been good, but, like, there's no action, so I don't really care as much. I'll save that one until the end, because Freeman will have stuff to say. Slime is just talking, but honestly, I don't really give a shit, because Slime has always kind of been like this. I think we just trick ourselves into forgetting how much of Slime is fucking talking all the time.
Wait, are they still in meetings? I
No.
just watched the 5th meeting episode.
Okay, 7 is kind of...
Tyler, I shit you not. We're 5 episodes in the season, and all it's been is just characters sitting in boardrooms discussing the politics of the world.
Oh,
and I
God.
see the preview image for episode 6 is just Rumor is still sitting
so,
on the council
so
chair.
to be fair, they are setting up a lot. This is a 2-core run. This is 24 episodes. They are setting up a lot of moving pieces.
And apparently the books are like this, where from this point on, every book opens with these massive meetings before shit just happens. So we might just need to get used to this formula.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I just think I'm not... If Slime hadn't hooked everyone early, this show would have probably faded away like... what was the one that I talked about like a year ago? The Aristocrat one, where it's like
Gotta be
the...
more specific. Does he have an appraisal skill?
No, he doesn't.
Is it at a
It's funny.
level?
No, it's just like an isekai kid who uses like... Or it's like a bureaucrat from Japan gets isekai'd and he like takes over a kingdom or something like that. There's so many of those. But I'm saying it could have just been one of those, but because Slime has some cool action at certain points. And Freeman, I will say, 7 is definitely like we're starting to go into the action. I know it's shocking to take a quarter of a season to do that, but it is finally starting to go up.
Okay, good. Because I'm trying to make sure I'm caught up.
There
on
is
everything
at least
this week.
one spray of blood in episode 7. There you go.
Finally. All right, good.
um,
Time for talk is over.
and
Joss.
the last thing, camping, aka, as we described last podcast, the Japanese
Tourism show.
Tourism Association.
Yeah, the show is getting a little shameless.
But I wanted to talk about 2 shows. You have one listed here, Freeman, because we both started it. But honestly, my most exciting shows of the season, for me, probably number 1 is Windbreaker. This show is in the Yakuza universe, and I am fucking here for it.
Who breaks
And
wind?
I looked through every one of the servers I'm in to see, does anyone have the fart sound effects? I could play this, but I don't have it on hand for
Good.
this, unfortunately.
Because it doesn't deserve it. If this show is
Wow, sounds like
legitimately
it does.
awesome. I don't, Tyler Freeman, I know that Tokyo Ghouls is like supposed to be the standard of anime for delinquents shows kind of thing,
Tokyo
even though it's not
Revengers.
that good.
Tokyo Revengers, not Ghoul. I
Sorry,
was like, wait, what are we...
Tokyo Revengers, sorry. Honestly, this is great. Like this feels like a Yakuza show, and the fighting is really good. There's no powers, it's just delinquent kids. The fighting, the animation feels really crisp. I actually care about like these kid characters. They all seem pretty relatable. Like like a good take on like the Lost Boys kind of trope. Also, the leader of the team that the main character is on is basically just fucking. He literally just looks like someone took Virgil's character design from DMC and made him younger.
Like coat and all, or
not coat. Well, they have their jackets for their school, and his is a long coat with like green trim. And he has slick back white hair. Like, it's pretty close to Virgil. Every time I see him, I'm like, this guy's a nice guy, but he also just looks like fucking Virgil. Honestly, if you're looking for an action show, I would pick this up. Like, Windbreakers is kind of like one of my top 2 new shows of the season. And then the other one, Freeman, as always, High Dive has to have one show that people give a shit about.
they always pay for the best.
It used to be Eminence in Shadow, and it used to be Oshinoko, and now it's Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. This show is everything. Okay, as much as Mother's Basement and Giguk hype up the cute girls go to Antarctica show, this is what that show should have been for me. Because I care a lot about these 4 main girls and their attempts to form this like underground musical art group thing is such a fun time. This is the show I always want to watch when me, and Val are watching anime together. Like, if we're not caught up on this is my highest priority.
I think the big difference between this and Antarctica was Antarctica fell apart when they actually got on the boat to start going because the plot started feeling a little more outlandish and unrelatable, whereas everything the characters are doing right now feels relatable and you want to
so relatable. Wow. Even though, like, obviously one of them was like a famous idol, one of them's like a semi-successful VTuber, but like,
but these are dream careers for Gen Z. So.
Yeah. No, I think this should, like, legitimately, I think I'm at the point where like new shows that are interesting get me a lot more than returning shows, and out of my 4 new shows, these two are way above. Freeman, I'm sorry to say, they are above Kaiju and Bartender, which I didn't talk about.
Oh, that's fine. Bartender's pretty.
Bartender is a fun, chill
anime.
time that has some nostalgia for you because it used to be a different anime.
It's completely different than now.
But Bartender's fun, but it's very low key, and also fuck that blonde character arc.
It's fine. His second character arc was great, and I'm sure his third and fourth will be even better.
No. Freeman, the last thing I wanted to talk about for the mid-season check-in, though.
Damn, there's so much shit.
Oh, I didn't realize you.
Sorry, I'm watching 10 shows, Tyler.
Fucking cry.
Well, I'm not playing video games. I'm watching all this.
I'm fuck asleep over here. Yeah, no wonder you're fucking not playing no goddamn games. Fucking watching all.
You're watching way more shit than I am.
Freeman, do you still
I'm
like
watching 20
Mushoku
shows.
Tensei?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Do you still like Mushoku Tensei?
Yes, I very much do. It's still hanging on. It's still good. It's not the 10 out of 10 it was in season 1, but it's still certainly a good fantasy
I think this
adventure
whole
anime.
season is going to come down to what this second half looks like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to remember 11 out of the last.
Oh, Tyler,
the first
speaking
12
of how the
episodes.
second half of the season is going to affect how the rest of it goes, why don't you tell everyone what you think of Bridgerton Season 3?
My fucking god, bro. This shit is ass. Like, Michelle's like, you like this show, right? And I'm like, no. Not in the slightest. Like,
Wait, how much of it have you been watching?
All of it.
I only saw the first 2 episodes that Val showed me forever ago. Honestly, the worst
Oh, boy.
the worst recommendation Val has ever given me. Ever. Like, and that's the thing too, like, Val doesn't really give me bad recommendations, I don't think, except like this is the only one. And then, yeah, Michelle doesn't have her friends around, so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it with you. And I'm like, man, this is a show. This is one of the shows of all time.
This is one of them.
Like, I don't see the appeal, but I wanted to put it on here because I thought it was funny. Like, it's not a show that would grace these watch played lists.
Hey man, I also watched all of this first half of the season because Val and I have watched all of Bridgerton up till now.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched all of Bridgerton. I can at least say that. Never have.
Honestly, this show is just like crack cocaine for white girls. Come on.
Big Factorino. Like,
It's a bunch of hot people in Britain, in like Victorian England. Literally all they do is try to fall in love with each other and go to parties in fancy dresses. Like, what do you...
oh, look. And as we talk about it, Michelle was summoned.
No.
Because we're talking about
alive.
Bridgerton now. Because we watched it. Yeah. About how much of a fantastic show it is. I'm totally not... I don't have a gun to my head at all. This is not under duress.
Tyler, mute yourself on Discord and unmute
Yes.
twice if you're being threatened against you.
I gotta say, after watching only one episode of the show, the one thing that truly takes me out of it is just hearing these orchestral remakes of modern day pop
Yes,
music
oh
showing
my
up all
God.
the time. I can't stand it. It's
Again,
just like
couldn't
too
have
goofy.
been more chemically designed in a lab to entice white women. Like, come on. Like, half of the songs are like, some of the songs are Taylor Swift songs played on violin. Like, of course they're gonna want to watch the show.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, everybody's hot, everybody falls in love, and acts angsty about it. Val sent me a Bridgerton meme earlier today.
No, I don't want to know what these memes look
No,
like.
it's just Bridgerton in 30 seconds, and it's just two people pretend like doing the whole like, I fall in love, I reject you, I chase you anyway, I fall for it. Like, it was just back and forth goofiness like that. But Tyler, I will say, so you finally watched episode 3, the episode I wanted to talk to you about, right?
Oh, Bridgerton?
Yeah. Remember how
yeah, I watched it there.
No, I know, but we didn't get to actually talk about the episode. The whole thing with the balloon.
Oh my God, that was
Tyler,
so fucking stupid.
That was when I told you when you came over that there was part of it that had been making me die laughing. It was the fucking balloon bit. It's like the most cartoonish, like slow moving object shit. It is so funny.
I can't. I lost brain cells already.
Freeman,
like, I
there's a scene. Okay,
I saw the scene you're talking about. Where
you did.
Yeah,
where the hot air
he
balloon's
was
like
there.
getting away. I was there for this bit. Yes, I saw this.
There.
It's moving
It
at
was so
like 2
stupid.
feet a second. Everyone's like, "You're the hero of the hour," and everyone's like, "Pull! We gotta save their life." And it's just,
Dude. People live for this. This is like the #1 show on Netflix right now.
oh, of course it is. Of course
Oh
it
my
is.
God, people are just so starved for content.
And Netflix
no, they've
figured out.
always
No, no,
liked this show.
Oh yeah,
though.
of course. Every time this comes out, but Freeman, here's the thing: Netflix figured it out. They put out half the season now, and then 1 month later, they put out the second half, so that people have to pay for at least 2 months of Netflix to watch all of Bridgerton.
I hate that.
I think it's also just that it keeps people talking about it for more than just that 1 week.
True. No, I'm not. You know what sucks? Honestly, this is probably a better way to do it than all in one drop to keep the hype cycle. I think this makes a lot more sense, and it seems to be working for them because Stranger Things also did it when the last Stranger Things season happened. But it is frustrating to also know you're paying for more months of Netflix while they're doing this.
Yeah.
I also, do you guys remember me talking about a show called Blood of Zeus a while ago?
Yeah, season 2 came
Yes.
out.
Yeah, I had no fucking clue there was going to be a season 2 until I opened Netflix to put on Bridgerton for Val the other day, and it went, "Hey, Blood of Zeus season 2 is here." What? When the fuck did they get a season 2 for Blood of Zeus?
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything about
last
this.
week, I think.
No, but like, when did they originally announce it?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Weird. Anyway, I didn't watch it, and I'm not. Frankly, I'm gonna resist the urge to because even though it's the Castlevania animation team, fucking could not care less about this.
Wait,
Like,
they renewed it back in 2020 and then just didn't say shit until
that's wild.
confirming it would
Season
release
1
on
was
May 9th.
so not enjoyable. I just don't want to try.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it was middle of March they announced it would come out in May, so only like 2 months ago.
that is plenty of anime and shows and shit. Tyler, why don't you cover your little bit of stuff? Because unless Freeman, you had anything else?
No, I'm all done.
Yeah, I will say my things, and then unfortunately I have to leave.
That's fair.
But I tried playing New Vegas. I decided I was gonna pick it up, and then I'm like, you know what? I scratched the itch. I'm done now.
You're done.
Yeah, I played Fallout New Vegas, and I downloaded a few mods. But the only problem with me downloading these mods is that a lot of the mods require the DLC.
Oh.
Which I didn't download, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just save this for another time. And I wanted to go for a longer stint on this, but I'm short on time, so maybe I will touch on it more later. But I finally beat the Legend of Dragoon on my PlayStation, my PSX, not my PlayStation 1, my PSX, on my Sony Trinitron.
Oh my god.
And the game was great, but man, if I ever play this game again, I gotta find a way to play it by other means, so to speak, to speed things up, because man, the animations took way too long.
Oh no.
No, dude, it's just the animations. It takes an eternity to do anything, because like even if you shorten the animations, like to like turn into a dragoon, you're still waiting for the moves, so it's crazy. But the game was amazing. I highly recommend it to anybody. If you liked any of the Final Fantasy games in the 90s,
Yes,
early 2000s, like please give this a try if you haven't. Yeah, it's one of those. Like some mechanics didn't transfer over well because of like as in like respecting the player's time, but like it like I don't know, this is a product of its time, I guess, so it like doesn't help it age well, but I think it was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. I gotta go, guys.
All right.
And then these two will finish it up. Or are you going to?
Actually,
okay.
Freeman, I want to ask you about something on Letterboxd, so we can let Tyler go.
Okay, yeah.
I'll listen to that ending part later on. How's that?
Yeah.
Bye,
no problem.
Tyler.
Bye-bye.
You mentioned Letterboxd, which reminds me, there is something I watched this last week I didn't put on here because I thought it'd be too stupid to talk about.
I was curious because you gave it a lower than the average, which was already low.
So I'll give my thought on this. So listeners, I watched Jerry Seinfeld's Unfrosted on Netflix, the fake movie about the creation of the Pop-Tart. And I already knew going in that reviewers hated this. Everyone's saying this movie's stupid. And I get through about the first 20 minutes, and my first thought is like, I get the humor style they're going for. This is very tongue-in-cheek. Like, you very much know that Jerry Seinfeld's in on every single joke he's in on screen here. It's fine. People are blowing up how bad this is. And then I get an hour into this hour-and-a-half movie. And at this point, it hits me. Oh, God. Everything after the first 30 minutes just stops being funny, and the jokes just start being really, really stupid. So there's a whole scene where, like, there's this milkman mafia, and it's run by Peter Dinklage, and, like, he yells at Jerry for some reason, even though everyone's ignoring the whole idea that, like, you can dip a Pop-Tart in milk. So they try to, like, rough him up a bit, and they're like running through the line, and there's this bit where he has to run through this line of cows who are all facing ass first at him. And I'm like, this is so stupid. This scene doesn't need to exist. It's not funny, and it doesn't actually have any bearing on the plot. Because from that point on, the milk mafia doesn't matter. It's just meant for gags. So by the end of the movie, I was kind of bored and just waiting for it to end. So I gave it a pretty low score because it could have maintained the tone of the first 20 minutes and been funny, but it just got too stupid for its own good. So yeah, if you're looking for a movie to watch that's like actually pretty bad and you just want to point and laugh at it, this is a pretty good one for that. But like the last half was pretty bad.
Gross.
So I only give it like 1.5.
Yeah.
I was giving it a 2.5 originally, and then the last 30 minutes, like, this is just like
you've really tanked it. Jeez.
Stupid. It's just so bad.
Yeah. Ugh. That's rough.
Yeah. So yeah, don't watch Unfrosted. Not worth it.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else. I did manage to talk about all the anime.
Yeah, unfortunately, all my time this week was mostly spent catching up on the Guild Wars 2 expansion because they did a like quarterly content release for this, and today is the
Oh.
day the last bit drops. So I spent early in the week catching up on the expansion bits that I've missed over the last couple months due to the ARM issues. So now I'm caught up. Well, sorry, as of today, I'm now behind on the Guild Wars 2 content. But
Oh my god.
overall, it's been pretty good. Last expansion
Nice.
was decent for what it was, but unfortunately, Guild Wars 2 does feel like a very aging MMO at this point.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, they sort of unofficially announced Guild Wars 3, so cool. But
Ooh.
we'll see how long it takes them to develop. It sounds like they're announcing the beginning of development of Guild Wars 3,
Okay then.
which means we're years away.
Ugh. All right. Well, I think we're done here.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So thanks a bunch, everybody, for listening. Sorry, Tyler had to drop early, but he's gotta go on vacation, so
Gotta
some
pack
of
that
us aren't
stuff
so
up.
lucky. But until next time, Tyler will be back, and we will also be back. But until then, my name is Timpedia,
Friedman.
and Tyler's just left.
Tyler
so.
was here.
So until next time, my name is Timpedia, and we'll catch you guys next time. I said next time too many times.
See you next time.